Taxation, that depressing but constant reality on the minds of everyone.
On a particular spot might turn out to be a breeding ground for mosquitoes. Mayor Ogi for Deadline 360.
It is obvious that's a negative relationship between taxes and business.
The government in bringing development to the grassroots. For Deadline 360, I'm Emmanuel Lene.
To generate electricity through nuclear energy, precautionary measures has to be taken. I am Muhammad Nasir reporting for Deadline 360.
Laws and regulations guiding revenue generation in Nigeria.
If the rent gets down to the landlords and business operators, it will eventually make them increase their service charges.
It's good to have you join us this week. I'm Hawa Sali.
We are Nigerians. We are one people. God made us united in our diversity. We have one history. We have one destiny. We are Nigerians. Let's rise and build. We have a vision with hope of what can be. Our dreams are lofty, our future great. Yes, we can do what's right and walk in love's just ways. We are Nigerians. Let's rise and build. We are Nigerians. We are one people. God made us united in our diversity. We have one history. We have one destiny. We are Nigerians. Let's rise and build. We've had our bitter taste of hate and bitterness. We've danced in agony to drums of war. But now we see the light. Let tribe and tongue unite. We are Nigerians. Let's rise and build. We are Nigerians. We are one people. God made us united in our diversity. We have one history. We have one destiny. We are Nigerians. Let's rise and build.
We are Nigerians, though of many tribes, and each with a different tongue. We stand united in our resolve to build, to defend, and to honor our great nation. We are a great people, from the beautiful grasslands and savanna to our rich rainforest, in a land flowing with oil and gold. Hear the clatter of groundnuts, hear the whispering palms, see the towering cocoa trees. We are Nigeria.
Accordingly, on behalf of the federal government, I tender the nation's apology to the family of late MKO Abiola.
President Muhammadu Buhari rekindles hope for Hope 93, apologizes to MKO Abiola family over perversion of justice.
The significance of what we are doing today is that the president has had the courage to do what others fail to do.
President Buhari receives commendations for political will to redress the wrongs of past administrations. Federal Capital Territory High Court sentences former Plateau State Governor Joshua Darie to 14 years in prison without option of fine. And President Donald Trump and Kim Jong-un end historic meeting aimed at denuclearing Korean Peninsula. Hello and thank you for joining us on NTA Network News with me, Muhammad Kudu Abubakar. In Lagos, we have Dotun Ogunyemi, and while Obehi Otobo Apresa joins us from Benin. The federal government has formally tendered apology to the family of the late MKO Abiola, the presumed winner of the 1993 presidential election, and to all those who lost their lives, loved ones, in the course of the June 12 struggle. President Muhammadu Buhari, who announced this at the special National Honors Investiture ceremony for the heroes and principal actors, was emphatic that such perversion of justice will no longer be tolerated in the country. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo has details.
It was an emotional sight to behold as President Muhammadu Buhari, in a remarkable demonstration of courage and conviction, conferred a posthumous National Honors Award of Grand Commander of the Federal Republic to Chief MKO Abiola. Chief Abiola's running mate, Ambassador Babagana Kingibe, was decorated with the Grand Commander of the Order of the Niger, GCON. A similar national honors of GCON was also conferred posthumously on Chief Gani Fawahemi in appreciation of his pioneering role in fighting for the good of the masses. President Buhari, in an emotion-laden voice, said Nigerians on their own free will voted MKO Abiola and Ambassador Babagana Kingibe in the 1993 presidential election, but the government of the day inexplicably cancelled the election when it was clear who were going to be the winners.
Our decision to recognize and honor June 12 and its actors is in the national interest. I earnestly invite all Nigerians across all our national divide to accept it in good faith. Accordingly, on behalf of the federal government, I tender the nation's apology to the family of late MKO Abiola, who got the highest votes, and to those that lost their loved ones in the course of June 12 struggle.
The president said the event, which also marked the full recognition by the federal government of June 12 as the National Democracy Day, is not an attempt to open old wounds, but to put right a national wrong.
We cannot rewind the past, but we can at least assuage our feelings, recognize that a wrong has been committed, and resolve to stand firm now and in the future for the sanctity of free elections. Nigerians will no longer tolerate such perversion of justice. This retrospective and posthumous recognition is only a symbolic token of redress and recompense for the grievous injury done to the peace and unity of our country.
He said the ill feelings, hate, frustrations, and agony associated with June 12 can now be buried and the positive side appreciated and nurtured to the next generation, including overcoming the nation's various divides for national unity and cohesion. Ambassador Babagana Kingibe and representatives of the Abiola and Gani Fawehinmi families were full of appreciation to President Muhammadu Buhari for the honor done to them, which they described as unprecedented.
Mr. President, to take the decision to recognize June 12th required courage, conviction, a fair-minded man who is clear in his head regarding what is right and what is wrong, what is just and what constitutes travesty of justice.
Who would have ever believed, given the relationship that you had with Chief NTA Abiola, that you would be the instrument God would use to honor this man and to bring reconciliation and healing to the country? Let me use this opportunity to apologize to you, to apologize to your family for anything that he might have done to harm you and to harm your family.
You are the first sensitive and reasonable head of state we have had in this country. And I will urge all Nigerians to support this man.
At the instance of President Muhammadu Buhari, a 1-minute silence was observed in honor of the late MKO Abiola, Gani Fawehinmi, and all those who lost their lives in the June 12 struggle.
May their souls rest in perfect peace.
From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Meanwhile, key actors in the June 12 struggle have described validation of the 1993 presidential election by President Muhammadu Buhari as victory for democracy, the rule of law, and the beginning of genuine efforts at national healing and reconciliation. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo again reports.
Best day of my life when that announcement was made. So if after 25 years this could happen, then I think it's an inspiration to the younger generation. So
the significance of what we are doing today is that the president has had the courage to do what others failed to do. Secondly, he has shown tremendous courage in recognizing Abiola as the president of this country.
I would have taken it. I know my father better than anybody. There are two reasons why I would have taken it. One, because June 12 was actualized. Two, because MKO Abiola was recognized as president-elect.
Because President Muhammad Buhari is a Daniel come to justice. This truly is a wonderful day for democracy, for all Democrats, not just the Social Democratic Party, whosoever voted.
It was really, really terrible, and Lagos really felt the heat more than any part of this country. But today we are happier for it. Nigeria is happier for it. At least this will keep the June 12 in our consciousness.
Now I am more than happy. I am more than happy because at least people who said we worked for nothing, now I understand. Even if it's politics, it's good that we have got it now.
It is an occasion that has openly exemplified Mr. President's gesture and commitment towards democracy, fairness, and the rule of law.
I do hope beyond the award of today, which is very significant, we'll proceed to conduct good elections in our country.
When we state in our anthem that the labors of Europe shall never be in vain, this is a typical example of a Nigeria that has demonstrated that.
At long last, victory has been granted to the person who won an election. That all the pretense we have had over the years have been brought to an end.
June 12 created a big political wound. And for him, there was not an active participant to come and say, look, gentlemen, we need to bring closure to these matters and to do the right thing. I think speaks volume.
It is an indispensable fact that June 12, 1993 remains for Nigeria a political and historical landmark which has defined the nation's democratic journey ever since. Timothy Yusuf in this report tells us the relevance of June 12 to the current democratic dispensation in Nigeria.
Nigeria on the march again. On the march again. Looking for Mr. President. On the march again. MKO is our man.
The annulment of the elections held 25 years ago by the then military government of General Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida aborted the country's envisaged Third Republic, which was anchored on a two-party system. The National Republican Convention, NRC, had Bashir Tofa as its standard bearer, and Moshood Abiola was the candidate of the Social Democratic Party, SDP. Using the option A4 system that involved the physical counting of voters at polling units and the immediate announcement of results in polling centers, the presidential election was adjudged the freest and fairest ever in the history of the country, where millions of voters, irrespective of tribe, religion, age and gender, voted massively for the man who they believed to be a figure of hope for a new Nigeria. The annulment led to protests in many Nigerian cities that went on for months, rallies by interest groups and ordinary people, strikes by major unions leading to arrest and incarceration of hundreds of Nigerians. This tension continued for years, even with the change of government from an interim national government to that of military leader General Sani Abacha. In the ensuing impulse, the acclaimed winner of the election, MKO Abiola, died while struggling to reclaim his mandate. For the past 25 years, there have been calls from across the country and beyond to redress what many refer to as a great injustice.
We congratulate Mr. President for his vision to have used this period for reconciliation, because this is an act of reconciliation, healing wounds that has been lying low and could be a bomb in future. Today, he has buried that bomb by reconciling, healing wound, and then bringing our democracy back to the day that free and fair election was conducted in Nigeria.
Let us be prepared for this great change, and it's happening.
The former Minister of Labour and Employment, Emeka Wogu, was a National Republican Convention NRC local government chairman in 1993 and played active role in the election.
That election was an election. Even my police orderly went and voted for SDP and showed me he had voted for SDP. Even my driver voted for SDP and they showed me that they voted for SDP. I voted for NRC because I had no other option, and some other people joined me to vote for NRC. So what that clearly shows is that the people at that time, Nigerian people, actually came up to vote for a president-elect.
Dr. Patrick Asadu was a medical student in 1993 and a strong supporter of Chief MKO Abiola. Asadu believes that even in death, MKO Abiola remained a winner because he didn't allow his rights to be trampled upon. Hence, they struggled for justice that hastily ushered in the present democratic dispensation in 1999.
June 12 is a monumental date for those of us who believe in the unity of this country, who believe that Nigeria can practice democracy, who believe that there are those factors that hold Nigeria that are bigger than those ones that divide Nigeria. So the outcome of June 12 election, announced or not announced, have come to become part and parcel of Nigeria. And I'm happy that it's alive again.
The announcement by President Muhammadu Buhari on June 6, 2018, that June 12 is now to be celebrated as Nigeria's Democracy Day, is believed to be the greatest reconciliation ever in the history of Nigeria. In Abuja, Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
More commendations for President Muhammadu Buhari for the declaration of June 12 as Democracy Day. Over now to Adam Sambo for more.
To build a nation where truth and justice shall reign.
Recalling with hard feelings their frustrations and agony during the June 12 struggle, the actors were unanimous that the annulment of the 1993 presidential election was criminal, saying the national apology by President Muhammadu Buhari was well thought out and appropriate.
I'm lucky to be here. I'm indeed lucky to be here because I went in and out of illegal detention centers that I could have lost my life.
By choosing to right the wrongs of 25 years of injustice, I believe is very, very earth-shaking.
June 12 had been troubling this country since 1993. And today, you have led the ghost of June 12 to rest.
Today, perhaps, is also a day to inaugurate our Hall of Shame. So that as we have a Hall of Heroes on one hand, we also have a Hall of Shame as a lesson to future generations.
Commending the Nigerian leader for the courageous step taken to right the wrong of the past, the speakers pledged to give him every support henceforth in his genuine efforts at making Nigeria greater.
Today, the political landscape is agog, is awake, is vibrant, is hopeful, is expectant, and shall never be the same again.
Generations to come will honor you for this brave act. Just stay focused. Mr. President, you have done the right thing, and you have done something that I believe will go down well in history.
You have done well, Mr. President, and we are going out to work to ensure that this good thing will last for another 4 years.
And we are with you. It's not a question of second time. You deserve it. We are going to work for it. We are going to win with you.
The human rights community will work assiduously with the Buhari administration to put an end to the reckless killings of our people. Viva Muhammad Buhari! Viva June 12! Say viva! Viva Nigeria! Say viva! Aluta!
They called on the president to keep alive the vision and mission of the late MKO Abiola by waging a meaningful war against poverty in the country. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
I'm now joined by Senator Jonathan Zingina, who was Director General, Hope 93 Presidential Campaign Organization, for more on this historic day. Dr. Jonathan Zingina, welcome to our studios.
Thank you, Kudu, for having me.
Now you are in a different capacity. We are taking you back 25 years.
Yes.
How will you describe, or how does it feel then when you heard the announcement of an election that you worked for? You were almost scaling for victory, only waiting for the announcement, but you had an annulment.
It was first a shock, and then it eventually became completely bewildering, very surprising. First, it looked like a dream, and then it began to sink in as some uncomfortable, painful reality. And then it sounded like something that was a mistake, and someone would correct it tomorrow, next tomorrow, the day after, and no correction was coming. Rather, on the 23rd, we had about a formal announcement of the annulment. It was really devastating, extremely devastating, after we worked so much and worked for so long, and day in, day out. And we would hardly go to bed till 4 a.m. and wake up at 7 a.m. and you're on the road again. And, you know, that's at a personal level. At a national level, it raised the hopes of Nigerians that an election, very free and fair, had produced a winner. And to be honest, the results were already with us. The results from polling units, which we collected, were with us. The results from the ward collation centers, from the local government collation centers, and from the states were with us. And from those results, we added and found that Basharu MKO Abiola had 8.2 million votes, and Alhaji Tofa had 5.8 million votes, and we were leading with 2.2 million votes. And we had got 1/3 of the votes in 28 out of 30 states, including the FCT. So it was a clear victory. The Constitution required us to have 1/3 of the votes in 20 out of 30 states. But here we were with 1/3 of the votes in 28 out of 30 states. These results were with us. And they were also with the Chief Electoral Commissioner in Abuja, except that in writing the results on the board, he only reached 14. The other 16 were there. It's just that they did not move on to the board. So the results were with us.
Now, today, President Muhammadu Buhari came with this formal apology. Did you see it coming?
No. Everybody was taken aback, but pleasantly so. This was the first time I saw a person of power becoming humble enough to apologize on behalf of the nation. And that apology was completely dampening and sobering for everybody in the hall, and raised the profile of the president to a much higher level than he ever imagined. And we were all impressed, extremely excited that, look, if a president could go to this level, then he definitely was genuine on the matter. So we were very, very impressed, and everybody was happy.
Finally, will you say that apology is enough, while other people are saying that there should be we should go beyond that, there should be restitution, there should be rehabilitation of victims of June 12, for example?
Yes.
Will you support that?
I will support that. I know that the apology is far-reaching, but not exhaustive. And there are also consequential measures. When you say someone is a GCFR or GCON, it follows that you have elevated that person to the position of a former president or a former vice president. And those things have some implications. We believe that those will be thought through. I would also say that the
what
government
would you have wanted? To be declared that MKO was a former head of state? Or?
Well, I don't think there's a different declaration now. If you give someone GCFR, and that is an honor reserved for former heads of state, you are actually by implication admitting that that person passes as a former head of state. But I would say that there are other consequential honors that could be done for other June 12 activists. And the Secretary to Government of the Federation alluded to that other honors are coming along the way. And I believe that if there were any leftovers, that will be taken care of in the fullness of time.
Senator Jonathan Zingina, Director General, Hope 93 Presidential Campaign Organization, thank you so much for your thoughts.
Thank you very much, Kudu.
And congratulations again.
Thank you.
We have more on reports on June 12 after these messages. Stay with us.
There's a passion inside each of us, waiting to be expressed. It turns the beauty into the beast, the mouse into a lion, and brings the bear to his knees. All for that ultimate moment, victory. But one fan's victory is another fan's pain. That's why tomorrow we do it all over again. For just 100 Naira, you get 250 megabytes to catch each of the 64 matches live on StarTimes app with Glow. Catch all the live matches and express your passion. Text BUZZ to 105 and download Glow Cafe. Great supporters of African football. Glow, grandmasters of data.
These were inherited classrooms in Bulumkutu Primary and Junior Secondary School. The school is largely attended by children from mostly low-income families within the densely populated community of Bulumkutu in Maiduguri. Now, compare them with these newly built classrooms in the same Bulumkutu Primary and Junior Secondary School. The classrooms in this complex are meant to accommodate more than 1,000 pupils. They will complement dozens of old classrooms that were recently overhauled in line with the determination to restore quality education in Borno. This is another legacy of Governor Kashim Shettima.
Are you sure you want to do this?
Adam, go and bring us your husband. Okay, hello baby. We're in this together, okay? Can you hear me? Keep coming forward. Wait, stop. You okay, lean to your right. Keep walking down, keep walking to the left. Yes, you're almost here. Keep going. You are here. Wow, you did it.
I'm just so glad I didn't have to use my cane to do this.
And I am so glad no other man got you before me. Let me be your eyes.
We will never stop working to give you a network you can rely on so you can enjoy life's special moments. MTN, everywhere you go.
Do you know that the Nigerian police now operates in the best international practices of policing? Do you know that the Nigerian police has been restructured to be more accountable and responsive to all your security challenges? Now, what the police demand from you is your trust, your collaborative efforts by providing necessary information about criminals and their activities in your neighborhood. Be vigilant to achieve our creed as we promise. We shall police the country based on international core values of policing with integrity. We shall ensure that rule of law prevails in our actions and activities. We shall respect diversity, display courage, show compassion, and demonstrate professionalism. We shall operate within the principle of democratic policing. We shall shun corruption, and we shall make Nigeria safer and secured under the leadership of IGP Ibrahim Otum Idris.
Let the wind of change blowing across the country chase away crime for the benefit of our society. Yes, the Nigerian police says this change must come with peace and tranquility.
This message was brought to you by the Public Relations Department of the Nigerian Police Force.
I am Segun Odegbami. Are you looking for a school that combines a child's passion for sports with first-class education?
Look no further. That school has been existing for 10 years and has produced first-class student athletes that have gone on to top Nigerian and American colleges and universities, still pursuing their dreams in academics and sports. The school is Segun Odegbami International College and Sports Academy, a co-educational, full-boarding secondary school with science, arts and commercial classes taught with modern e-learning facilities located in a serene campus in Wasimi near Abeokuta, Ogun State. Admission for the academic session is already on. Enroll them into SOCA, where students are taught to excel and become the very best they can be. Call today. Visit the website or the school's campus.
Trust me and trust your child in our care.
SOCA, where sports and education are in perfect harmony.
Welcome back. 20 years after his demise, the name MKO Abiola remained evergreen in the minds of Nigerians as correspondent Afolabi Lawal takes a look at the life and times of the philanthropist, business mogul, and later politician.
The President Muhammadu Buhari recent declaration of June 12 as Democracy Day and subsequent arrangement to confer late Moshood Kashimawo Olawale Abiola the winner of June 12, 1993 presidential election with highest honor in the country brought out the best in the people who joyfully came out to partake in the democracy walk. The walk, which was the main event commemorating the day, marked the 8th time the present government in the state would consistently celebrate in memory of the late icon who sacrificed his life for democratic governance in Nigeria and so many others who paid the ultimate price in the struggle. From Cultural Center, Kuto Abeokuta, government functionaries led by the Deputy Governor, Chief Yetunde Onanuga, members of the civil society groups, interest groups, human activists, associations and organizations marched through major streets to the Oke-Ido family house of the late Chief MKO Abiola at Gbagora area of Abeokuta. The walk terminated there, where Muslim clerics led in special prayers for the repose of the soul of the late MKO Abiola.
We appreciate what the President has done for us. And we are also very grateful for actualizing June 12 as the Democracy Day. We lost the man and the mandates. Although belated, but we want to salute the government led by President Muhammadu Buhari.
Ogun State government had declared the day work-free day in the state in commemoration of June 12. In Abeokuta, Lekon Agbonde, NTA News.
Back here in Abuja, Lagos State Governor Akinwumi Ambode has unveiled a 46-feet statue of Nigeria's symbol of democracy and presumed winner of the June 12, 1993 presidential election, Basharun Moshood Abiola. Governor Ambode expressed optimism that the moment will forever crystallize what MKO Abiola stood for in his lifetime. This was shortly after the annual lecture in Lagos State to commemorate June 12. Nosa Olus Osula has the report.
Chief Moshood Kashimawo Olawale Abiola was a businessman, publisher, politician and aristocrat of the Yoruba Egba clan. MKO Abiola ran for presidency in 1993, for which the election results were annulled by the preceding military president, Ibrahim Babangida, because of allegations that they were corrupt and unfair. President Muhammadu Buhari recently announced June 12 as the new date for Democracy Day in Nigeria, while he also conferred a posthumous GCFR title on the late Chief Moshood Abiola. According to Governor Akinwumi Ambode, a number of the programs so far rolled out by his administration to engender people's participation in governance were in line with the vision of late MKO Abiola.
By this singular act, including the award of the Grand Commander of the Order of the Niger on the fearless human rights activist Chief Ganifa in President Muhammadu Buhari has written his name in gold in the political history of Nigeria.
The governor thereafter inaugurated a new statue of the late MKO Abiola at the MKO Abiola Garden in Ketu Alapere area of the state. In Lagos, Nusa Usula, NTA News.
While Nigerians are still celebrating the declaration of June 12 as the nation's new democracy day, a number of persons are advocating that June 12 be made Inauguration Day. What are the legal implications if such changes are made? Judiciary correspondent Femi Okewo provides the answers.
There is nowhere in the 1999 Constitution that May 29th has been specifically mentioned as the date for the inauguration of a president or governor. It comes as an executive initiative, not even by a civilian government, but by a military government. And to observe the day as Democracy Day took a similar declaration by then President Olusegun Obasanjo in 1999. So, legal experts say that no law has been violated in declaring June 12 as Democracy Day. Where some problems may begin to crop up is if Inauguration Day changes to June 12. The implication of that would be that the tenure of any president or governor that was inaugurated on May 29th will then have to be extended by 2 weeks, a situation which the Supreme Court has strongly affirmed is not legal.
What the Constitution stipulates and which the court, particularly the Supreme Court, has affirmed is that the tenure of office of the president and of the governors cannot be extended by 1 day.
So, with this position, what is likely to happen is for Nigerians to enjoy their June 12 public holidays 3 times in the tenure of an administration, and on the 4th, which falls on the inauguration year, will have an added inauguration day 2 weeks before the year's June 12 Democracy Day.
We should not politicize it. We should not introduce unnecessary complexity or complications. We can have Inauguration Day, which is 29th May, then celebration 2 weeks after on June 12th.
Let's see how that works out in the months to come. For now, Nigerians are just content with the sudden balm which this declaration has brought to the nation's polity. In Abuja, Femi Okewo, NTA News.
Thank you, Femi. In the meantime, the Nigerian Labour Congress, on behalf of Nigerian workers, celebrates and congratulates all Nigerians on the 25th anniversary of the June 12, 1993 presidential election, which is being celebrated with conferment of the highest honor in the land to the arrowhead of the June 12 struggle, Chief MKO Abiola, by President Muhammadu Buhari. The NLC sees the recognition of the Buhari administration as the high point of Nigeria's democratic aspirations, as one people united by the quest for well-being, dignity and prosperity. NLC therefore urges the federal government to identify fully with the ideals of June 12 by removing all obstacles to free, fair and credible elections in Nigeria. Away from June 12 stories, a Federal Capital Territory High Court has sentenced former Governor of Plateau State, Senator Joshua Dare, to 14 years imprisonment with no option of fine for criminal breach of trust and misappropriation of funds. Ali Tukur has the story.
In the judgment on the 1.1 billion naira fraud brought against Joshua Dare by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, the court found the serving senator liable of breach of trust and criminal misappropriation of funds, During his 8 years as governor of Plateau State, the former governor was found guilty in 15 counts out of the 23 for diversion of ecological trust fund to private companies and individuals, while the court dismissed 8 for lack of evidence. Before the sentencing, the defense counsel pleaded with the court to be lenient with his client, but the prosecution counsel objected to that and urged the court to hand down the maximum sentence for the crime to serve as a deterrent.
You heard the facts, and mistakes were made, and sometimes the law is unforgiving, and the left is rest for history to judge. We'll take instruction from our clients when they give us.
So, but within 2 weeks, we were able to secure conviction. It's a good development, and I hope this will serve as a deterrent to others that corruption does not pay, and that we cannot move forward if we are corrupt.
Senator Joshua Darie becomes the second former governor to be handed 14 years imprisonment by the same Justice Adebukola Banjoko after Reverend Joel Inyame of Taraba State. In Abuja, Aliu Tukur, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the renewal of the tenure of the chief executive officers and appointment of two new others in some federal agencies. The renewed appointments are Dr. Boboye Olayemi Oyeyemi as Co-Marshal Chief Executive Officer of the Federal Road Safety Corps, Dr. Jafaru Alunwa Momo as Chief Medical Director, National Hospital Abuja, as well as Dr. Nwandinigwe Kajitan Nwantoronye, Medical Director, National Orthopedic Hospital, Enugu State. Others include Professor Eli Jidere Bala as Director General of the Energy Commission of Nigeria, Dr. Mohammed Jibrin, Director General, National Board for Technology Incubation, and Professor Mohammed Haruna as Executive Vice Chairman, National Agency for Science and Engineering Infrastructure. The new appointments are Dr. Ali Adamu, Provost, Federal College of Education, Technical, Gombe State, and Dr. Yaya Baba Adamu as Medical Director, Federal Medical Center, Kefi, Nasarawa State. Meanwhile, the presidency has also approved the appointment of Ambassador Haya Lawal as Senior Special Assistant to the President on Foreign Affairs and International Relations. A statement by the Permanent Secretary, Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, enjoined persons appointed to live up to the expectations to justify the confidence and trust of the government and the people of Nigeria. We now join Dotun in Lagos for more news on NTA Network News. Hello, Dotun. Over to you.
Thank you, Kudu, and a warm welcome to Lagos. West African Seasoning Company Limited, makers of Ajinomoto and Mardish Seasoning, have been commended for their consistency and doggedness despite the competitive environment under which they operate. The Oni of Ife, Oba Adeyeye Enitongusi, made the commendation while receiving top management of the company in his palace in Ile-Ife, Osun State. Babatunde Adireti has the details.
New improved and rebranded Ajinomoto and Mardish, products of the West African Seasoning Company Limited, were brought to the doorstep of Oni of Ife, Oba Adeyeye Ogunwusi, in his palace by the top management of the company, led by its managing director, Niki Junishi. Receiving the makers of Ajinomoto to his palace, Oba Ogunwusi promised to support the company by making it acceptable in every household in Nigeria.
At some point, it was a very popular product, but so many of the competitors came to try and work on how to blacklist that very strong brand in southern Nigeria.
The managing director of the company, Niki Junishi, who thanked the Oni of Ife for accepting the company's products, especially Ajinomoto and Mardish, among other products produced by the company.
Everywhere in any countries, this is 100% approved with the safety guarantee. Even NAFTA. We know there are many rumors around, not only in Nigeria, but that saying these products are not good for your health, or it could, be very negative. But that's only rumors.
Some Nigerians also expressed their acceptabilities of products of West African Seasoning Company Limited.
So we start to develop this product not to use real stockfish, but realize the real stockfish and the crayfish and the stockfish flavor.
It's the only powdery seasoning that when you apply to any kind of cooking, it brings out the original thing.
In Ile-Ife, Aderiti Babatunde, NTA News.
A total of 85 entries have been received for the Nigeria Liquefied Natural Gas Annual Prize Science Competition for 2018. Annie Daniels reports that this was disclosed during the handover of the entries to the advisory board of the competition in Lagos.
The Annual Prize for Science is an initiative and brainchild of the Nigeria Liquefied Natural Gas, aimed at recognizing outstanding scientific achievements by Nigerians and non-Nigerians alike for the advancements of scientific solutions to prescribed problems, especially those afflicting Nigeria. The theme for the 2018 edition is Innovation in Electric Power Solutions.
Power is key to driving technology, and for a company that is focusing on helping to build a better Nigeria, we believe that if we get power right, there's an opportunity to also get the rest issues around development right.
What are the innovative techniques that researchers are able to generate to improve quality or availability of electricity and quality of it? It's what it's about.
Most industries are complaining that they don't have power. So what LNG is doing should be appreciated.
A total of 85 entries received for this year were handed over to the advisory board, whose chair described the entries as impressive compared with previous years.
This prize, once you win it, it highlights your accomplishment. Because I've won it before and I know what it did for me. It puts focus. Everybody, government, institutions, everywhere.
The winner is expected to receive the sum of $100,000 as prize money. The competition has been on for 12 years. In Lagos, Annie Daniels, NTA News.
You're still watching NTA Network News. We take a break now for some messages. The news returns shortly. Do stay with us.
When we move, we create magic. When our feet touch the ground, wonders happen. We were born to fly, to create the spectacular. Because our hearts are full of passion. One step at a time, we confirm our passion. Because in Africa, our rhythm inspires our game. Our game is our passion. Indulge your passion with Glow Data Unmatched. Great supporters of African football. Glow, grandmasters of data.
From the 21st to the 23rd of June 2018, more than 300 of the world's influential media professionals, including editors, senior media executives, leading journalists, academics, and social commentators, will converge on Abuja, Nigeria, as the International Press Institute holds its World Congress in Nigeria for the very first time. Expected dignitaries include 4 African presidents and participants from 150 nations to deliberate on the theme,
Why Good Journalism Matters, Quality Media for Strong Societies.
President Muhammadu Buhari will deliver the opening address at the Transcorp Hilton Hotel, Abuja. The Honorable Minister of Information and Culture, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, and IPI World Congress Organizing Committee Chairman, Nduka Obaigbena, welcome IPI Executive Board Chairman, John Yearwood, Executive Director, Barbara Triumphi, and all delegates to the IPI World Congress 2018. Tony O. Iradia, Chairman, Media and Publicity Committee, Announcer.
Uh-oh, maybe he's not comfortable in his diaper. New Movix Comfort Fix Flexible Sidebands offers freedom of movement. Movix, happy today, happy tomorrow. Not again. We had the same problem. Try new Molfix. Molfix absorbs the liquid immediately, even under pressure. Molfix. Happy today, happy tomorrow.
Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce. Let's go, yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, working. That's right. Playing. Yeah. Here we go. Milk, chocolate, malt, prepared mix ready to drink. Hollandia Chocomo, shap nutritious drink every day. Drink it up. Hollandia Chocomo. Oh yeah. Shap nutritious drink. Yeah.
Every day, I see patients who come to me suffering from infectious diseases caused by germs, from typhoid to diarrhea, flu, cough. An average human being comes in contact with over 1 million germs daily when we use the toilet, from our door handles, from other surfaces. We transfer to others without realizing. That is why we recommend Dettol Antiseptic Liquid. Protect your family from up to 100 illness-causing germs. Be Dettol Sure.
The Administrative Staff College of Nigeria, ASCON, announces a roundtable conference on the imperatives of funding colleges of education for achieving Education 2030 agenda. Expected participants, provosts, deans and heads of department, vice-chancellors of universities of education, registrars, bursars, heads of internal audits, directors of academic planning, chairmen of academic staff unions, heads of procurement and staff of the Colleges of Education Commission. Date, Monday 25th to Wednesday 27th June 2018. Conference fee, 75,000 naira per participant. Payment mode, account name, ASCON e-collection. Account number 02-300-5586-1019. Payable at any bank. For further inquiries, please contact G.A. Afolayan, Conference Director on 0033182344 or S.O. Bayoku, Conference Coordinator on 0037224527. Announcer, Director General, ASCON.
Musa Abubakar has the business news package.
It's good to have you join us. The world is likely to face a price hike from any supply disruption if OPEC and its allies hike crude output next week. The buffer meant to provide global markets with a cushion in the event of natural disaster could shrink from more than 3% of the global demand to about 2%, its lowest since 1984, if OPEC, Russia and other producers decide to increase output when they meet on June 22nd to 23rd, 2018. Some analysts say spare capacity could even fall below 2% after years of low oil prices drove down investment in new production across the industry. The Nigerian Stock Exchange continues its bullish sentiment Tuesday. The All-Share Index climbed 0.83% to end the session 39,167.04 basis points, with market capitalization at 14.1 trillion naira. 341 million shares valued at 5.1 billion naira was traded in 3,769 deals. Seplat, Nestle and Mobil led gainers chart, while Guinness and Nascon top losers table. That's it on business segment. The news continues.
Time to join Obehi in Benin for more on NTA Network News. Over to you, Obehi.
Good evening, Kudu. Good to have you join us in Benin. Governor Godwin Obaseki is urging Edo youths to take advantage of the emerging opportunities in the state to build their future. He was speaking at a forum with youths from across the state in Benin City, just as the state puts finishing touches to plans ahead of the visit of the Vice President this Thursday. Good luck, Enaine reports.
Governor Obaseki said the way forward for the state is to look inward, create advantages and expand such advantages to create better life for the people. Hence, the decision to put in place policies that will engender economic growth. He said the visit of the Vice President to the state this Thursday to inaugurate the South-South Innovation Hub, which will provide the youths a greater opportunity to launch themselves into greatness technologically is instructive.
We have initiatives which we have put in place to take advantage of this sort of opportunities. With your session would dovetail into a small medium enterprises fair and the launch of the Edo Innovation Hub by the Vice President on Thursday.
The South-South Innovation Hub will house over 25 ICT companies, including Oracle, Google, Bridge, among others. In Benin, I am Goodluck Inaini, NTA News.
A total of 4 illegal refineries have been destroyed by the Nigerian Navy in 3 communities in Warri, Delta State in the last 1 month. Anwuli Okunta reports on the cleanup exercise by the Nigerian Navy ship Delta in Bennett Island.
In the Otumara, Obebugu and Okpoku have seen the destruction of illegal refineries in various parts of the communities. At the site on Bennett Island, already marked for destruction, the naval officers met the illegal refinery already raised by bunkers.
We will not be deterred by this issue of setting fire to the refinery or even using logs to deny us access into the refinery. We will continue. We will wait for the fire to go down, and then we'll still destroy the illegal refinery that they set on fire so that we will not access it.
With the negative effects on the economy and environment, the Nigerian Navy says it will intensify efforts to rid Delta of illegal refineries. In Warri, Anwuli Okunta, NTA News.
That's our package from Benin. Kudu, it's over to you for the rest of the news.
Here we take another break to bring you some messages. Stay with the NTA.
See the memory of your brother being vanquished, destroyed, and you said nothing in 8 years of presidency. You didn't even say June 12th. You didn't say Abiola in one of your speeches. And somebody from another part of the country, complete another part of the country, comes to do justice.
Kiyamo.
In foreign news, leaders of the United States and North Korea, President Donald Trump and Kim Jong-un, have met in what is described as historical talks after a year of exchanging threats. Reports say the body language of the two leaders was openly friendly at the Singapore summit. Adebola Brooksland Sunday monitored the meeting and now reports.
Before proceeding for talks, the two presidents shook hands at a luxury hotel in Singapore's Sentosa Island. After the meeting, with translators only present, the leaders signed a comprehensive document, including diffusing tension and nuclear disarmament between the two nations. The document also committed North Korea to work towards the complete denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula. President Trump described the talks as tremendous, also promised he will halt U.S. military exercises in South Korea. Beyond focusing on denuclearization, market watchers are predicting North Korea will be seeking a lifting of economic sanctions. Some economic strategies for North Korea's economic reform include special economic zone and reopening of two joint economic ventures. Prior to their meeting, Kim Jong-un said he had a nuclear button on his desk and was ready to use it against the U.S., while Donald Trump reacted saying his nuclear button is much bigger and powerful. Adebola Brooksland Sunday, NTA News.
Meanwhile, Nigeria has reacted to the outcome of the summit between President Donald Trump of the United States and the North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. A statement by the spokesperson of the Foreign Affairs Ministry, Dr. Tope Elias Fatile, says the historic meeting in Singapore, which resulted in an agreement by the two parties for a new relationship leading to denuclearizing the Korean Peninsula, among others, is a welcome development. Nigeria, according to the statement, commends the bold move and hopes that both sides will keep to the agreement. The statement recalls that President Muhammadu Buhari had at the 72nd UN Summit in New York reiterated the need to accelerate efforts to de-escalate tension in the Korean Peninsula and engage North Korea in a more robust engagement. Super Eagles continues to attract more attention as they prepare of their St. Turkey base in Russia ahead of the Saturday's match against Croatia. Correspondent Ayodeji Makinde has more on the team with the world.
In Stavropol territory, the players donned local fabric designed by a Nigeria-based dressmaker and was an instant hit on social media, just like the maverick design of the jerseys by the kit manufacturer. In a related development, we'll take a look at iconic number 17 in the Super Eagles squad. From a young, pacey clinical striker in Victor Ikpeba in 1994 USA World Cup team, through the veteran Austin Eguavoin, who was in the twilight of his career in 1998